Hey BookTube, this is Jack from Jack's Literary Corner, and like that, not the video I just uploaded, but the video before. I'm kind of filming this around that time as well. That's why the lighting is not that great. But I wanted to do this video where I show you. I just get a whole bunch of books as a gift from the woman who I think she kind of, I don't know if she's like a president or like just manages this branch. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know there's another branch of the Gibbons bookstore and library. But I kind of made friends with her, and like I originally was in contact with her because I was going to get either work at the library or the volunteer at the library or the bookstore, but it is strictly volunteering. I was going to get paid for it. So it's more just the things, because, volunteering looks good on resumes and stuff. Not that I was really applying for anything like a big company or anything. I just needed a job and something to do, because apparently I do nothing. So, I kind of made friends with her. So every so often she lets me, especially because those sci-fi books, for some reason, don't. I mean, I know why. I think it's partly because of the clientele is not interested in that sci-fi genre or the young adult genre, and but their books aren't selling. So whenever I show up, for instance, she not only will ask, surprisingly, she will ask for my help on how to do that, and why these books aren't selling. And the only thing I can think of is because of the clientele. But there might be other reasons, of course, and I wish I could help more. So, I mean, she always asks me every time. Probably because I'm really, she doesn't have maybe because she doesn't have anyone else to ask. But I don't know anything how to get that, but either way, and I don't want them to stop selling those books either, because that's what I get most excited about. But anyway, so every so often when I've come in, she has given me a whole bunch and has allowed me to pick and choose through the sci-fi collection. And has, of course, as long as I'm constantly donating. I'm always donating there. And she knows I like that genre. Well, more so fantasy than sci-fi, but they call it sci-fi. And as long as I continue to buy stuff, from there, then she will every so often let me get stuff. So I got a whole bunch of books. I did buy at least one because I felt like I should. And that was Son of a Witch. Every time I say that title, and I'm sure Gregory Maguire did that on purpose. I think of that swear phrase, son of a bitch. So, and I'm sure Gregory did that on purpose, like as a satire kind of thing. But this is the sequel to Wicked, and there's 4 books altogether. I have not got book 3 or 4 yet, but this is basically about. Well, the first book is about the Wicked Witch of the West and her story, and how she became the Wicked Witch that she is in the original story. Like, she was this young girl who was her mom had been given a green elixir when she was in her stomach, so like that's why she's the Wicked Witch is green. Not like in Once Upon a Time, where it was because she was green with envy. Which I guess that was the only thing they could come up with. Because, I mean, they couldn't copy off of Gregory Maguire's thing, what he did. So I guess the only thing they could come up with on Once Upon a Time was that she's green. She becomes green with envy. She's jealous of her sister. It's all about her journey, and when she goes to school and how she's not accepted by society. And her sister, the Wicked Witch of the Witch of the I think she's the Witch of the East. She becomes the Witch of the East. She was like, there's this whole subplot about her being handicapped, and that the reason why, and that the Wicked Witch of the West, Alphabet's her name, created the magical, the ruby slippers for her sister so she could walk in them. Although, actually, technically they're not ruby. They only made them ruby in the movie because it was the first time they started using Technicolor, so ruby would be easier to see than silver. And that originally they were silver. So that created her the silver slipper so she could walk. And it's kind of, she was friends with Glinda. She had a very interesting friendship with Glinda. And I've been wanting to reread these books. And at first I was like, oh, I could read Wicked by itself, as a standalone. And I think it could work as a standalone. But this one is the sequel, and it's about Elphaba had a son. And I think Fiyero, aka the Scarecrow, is her father. Although, in the musical, because there was a musical based on the original book, the first book, they made him out to be the Scarecrow. But I vaguely remember in the book that he wasn't. She was just imagining he was the Scarecrow, or just saw him as the Scarecrow, or something. I don't remember, but I really want to reread that again. I mean, I think I might do that in October. I should do that. I should consider doing that in October, like reread Wicked. Because, I mean, that's why I'm rebuying them. So, and like I said, in the sequel, it's about her son, Lear, and his story. And I don't remember much about this one or Lion Among Men, which is the third book. I read that one too. I did not read book 4, Out of Oz. But like I said, I feel like they can each be read as standalones. But they do have an overarching plot, I believe. And it gets resolved, of course, in the 4th book. But I really like these because the publisher made the pages, colored the pages. And these are, like I said, I like mass market paperbacks. I know there's one other person I know on BookTube that I watched that has said they actually like mass market paperbacks too. Because they are cheaper and easy to travel with. I know that, there's a lot of times they're really fragile. They crack easily on the spine. Like people just don't, so, and that's really, I feel like that's the only reason, because of how they're not resilient. Although this one feels pretty secure. And the pages tear easily because they don't, the pages tear easily. But I like this one but like I said, they're cheap and easy to travel with. And because I love taking books with me when I go anywhere. Even if I don't ever get around to reading it because, I just don't feel like reading, because I'm tired, or I just don't, I'm just not in the mood to read, or, I can't read because it would be rude and inappropriate, going out, when you go out to eat, you're not technically supposed to read. Of course, it's funny, though, that, my parents they don't like it when my cousins are on their phones, when my cousins will be on their phones, and my dad said they've said it's rude, but there are times when they'll be on their phone, so I'm thinking, oh, well, then I can get out my book and read, because I'm someone who I would, love to be, if, you're going to be on your phone, then why can I not read? Because, sometimes, my parents do get on their phones. I know it's not for socializing. It's sometimes to look up something. Or sometimes they're in the middle of a text conversation, which could be seen as socializing. But I'm thinking when they're on their phones, I'm like, oh, I'm going to take out my book and read. But then I feel guilty because I'm like, even though I'm an adult, at the same time, I'm their kid still. So it's I feel like, oh, well, but it was only $2 with a few, 14 cents. So that's why, and I feel, now that I've got this whole bunch of, I got all these books as a gift, I feel like it's, I feel less, like, because, I mean, not that I still don't want to reread the books, it's just, I wasn't super excited. I mean, yes, I wanted to get it at some point, but I was feeling like, oh, but it's not the one I really wanted, which I technically did not get the two that I wanted, that I was hoping I would come across. But it's a charity bookshop, so there's no guarantee you're going to get the exact book that you want. I mean, even in a Books a Million, especially at mine, you don't always get the ones that you want. Like, my Books a Million, I think it's because it's a smaller Books a Million. So there's no, I'm gonna move this up. There's, like, sometimes, like, I have been trying to get, the next book after Malice by John Gwynne, the sequel to that one. Not Malice, I'm reading Malice, but, either it's a Ruin or Valor is the second one. And I never see them anymore. Like, I saw them there a couple times before, a long time ago, but now they're gone because I think it's a smaller bookstore, so there's no guarantee it will get the books in when I want them. So, but since it's not a used bookstore, there's, like, it's a, Anyway, this is the only one I bought. So enough rambling about that. Now let's just talk about all the books that I got. Okay. First, so I did not, so this was one that, like, I like the Witcher book. I'm trying to collect more and more fantasy, like adult fantasy. And surprisingly, the bookstores, the charity bookshop has really helped with that because, like I said, Lisa had said that they got a whole bunch of, sci-fi books. So this one is just like the Witcher series. It's based on a video game, Guild Wars: Ghost of Ascalon. And I don't know if there's another book with it, but they said it's based on the this is right there on the top. And just I read a little bit of the back and it sounded really interesting. So, and like I said, I wanna read more adult fantasy, and let's see if there's a one. No, I guess this is just a standalone. But anyway, I just want to, I need to read the back of this because who knows, maybe I can use one of these books here as as long as it's not part of a series, or it's the first one in a series, because I might use one of these books for, medieval-thon. Even though I already did, you guys, even though I know I already did a video about the medieval-thon, my TBR for that, but I don't really stick to TBRs. So, I have read 2, and I'm gonna read Sword of Destiny. But, like, I might change some of them, like my dragon book, and I might get an assassin book to read. But anyway, so, I will look at that later, but, let's see, let me see if I can read it. Getting lost in my all-powerful thunder, magic can be no less. I'll just read this dramatic. I'll do a dramatic reading of the back description. 250 years ago, Ascalon burned. Desperate to defend his land from advancing hordes of bestial char, King Alderburn summoned the all-powerful foe fire to repel invaders. The magic can be a double-edged sword. The foe fire burned both char and human alike. While the char corpses smolder, the slain Ascalions arose again, transformed by their king's rage into ghostly protectors, and charged with guarding the realm forever. The once mighty kingdom became a haunted shadow of its former glory. Centuries later, the descendants of Ascalion, exiled to the nation of Crita, are besieged on all sides. To save humankind, Queen Jenna seeks to negotiate a treaty with the hated Char. But one obstacle remains. The Char legions won't sign the truce until their most prized possession, the Claw of Connor, is returned from the ruins of the fallen Ascalion. Now a mismatched band of adventurers, each plagued by ghosts of their own, sets forth into a haunted, war-torn land to retrieve the Claw. Without the artifact, there is no hope for peace. I don't know why I read it with space. Between human and Char. But the undead king who rules Ascalion won't give it up easily. Not everyone wants peace. So that sounds interesting and really fun. And so it's a standalone, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not going to find another book in Goodreads. I'll have to check that. Okay, this is a sequel to the Night Runner series, Stalking Darkness, and I liked what's on the back. I mean, I was hesitant because it is a sequel, and I don't know if I'll find the first book, but I might put it on my Amazon wish list. A master of subterfuge, a rogue thief with a noble air, Zigril, a Remy, has taught his young protege, Alec of Curry, his greatest secret of the trade. Together they made their way, with thieving jobs large and small, winning friends and enemies, their lives in constant danger, and yet charmed by an aura of magic, friendship, and trust. But now, as their adopted country prepares for war, Sergil is called away by the ancient wizard Lysander to face the ultimate challenge of loyalties, and entrusted with the deadly knowledge that, if breached, could cost both Zigril and the unwitting Alec their lives. And as Alec learns the shocking truth of his own shattered heritage, he, Sergil, and a handful of loyal companions are catapulted into a tumultuous conflict with the ultimate evil in which magic alone may no longer shield them from harm. I don't know what the first one. I guess the first one is when they meet. So I'll have to look that up. Unfortunately, that's one I cannot read. Okay. Next, I've been curious about R.A. Salvatore because I remember years ago someone telling me about R.A. Salvatore, and I've read one of his books before. And at the time, I did not realize it was actually, I think, a second or third book in a series, in a trilogy, I think. And that was around the time I read Dragonlance. I am tempted to buy those, because I have seen hardback editions of Dragonlance. Servant of the Shard. Let me see. I want to check something. Okay, yep, it's the first one. It's the Cell Swords trilogy. The sequel was Promise of the Witch King. Now, is that a duology? I don't know if that's a duology or not. Okay, there's another book. Okay, our Salvatore book. I hope this doesn't. Okay, let me look at this. Okay. Let me see if this is part of it. Because I was getting mixed up. Of course. Where is it? Okay. Of course it's not on here. Okay, 1 second. I was getting this book mixed up with this one. I think it might be part of the same series or trilogy or whatever. With each kill I grow wiser, and with added wisdom I grow stronger. The assassin, for a man like Artemis and Tree, lives hold little value. The drought, for the dark elf mercenary, Jaraxel. The only currency is power. The malevolent crystal shard's influence on Jaraxel intensifies until even his own drowned agents grow fearful of its terrifying intentions. Bregan de Arthe itself begins to turn on him. The mercenary will be forced to find a savior in the assassin he's come to enslave. So, I think these are connected. I think these are part of the same thing. Part of the same trilogy or series. So, here's what I'm going to do. I need to look at another R.A. Salvatore book. And check something real quick. Okay. Okay, here it is. The Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, and the Halfling's Gem. Trilogy, The Clerk Content. Yep, it's part of the same one. So, and it's the last two. It's not. I still have two more to get. The Silent Blade and the Spine of the World. So, Okay, that's what seems to be happening. Is this there's a lot. It seems to be a lot of Arno Salvatore books, but not all the ones I need. Or maybe, maybe it was there and I just missed it. Let me move this. So, another book in the series that I don't have all the books. I do have plenty more Ari Salvatore. So, this is the one who I actually have a complete series. So, I don't know why. I don't know if this author is any good. I might have heard about this author before I just didn't realize it. But Raymond E. Feist. If anyone has heard of this author that watches my channel, I'd love to know. Please let me know if you like them or not. But anyway, so this is Magician's Apprentice. Magician Apprentice. This is the first one, volume 1. The author's preferred edition. So I don't know what that means. Maybe he likes this cover better. It's definitely a nice cover. And I like the print. The second one, Magician, I guess it's a Magician series. Master. It's the second one, volume 2. Is this the part? I hope this is the same saga. Riftwood Saga. Yep. Riftwood. Rift War. Yeah, same. Because it's weird that these ones don't have Magician in the title. But, Volume 3, Silver Thorn. And then Volume 4, At a Darkness at Sethanon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but, is that's good. And those are the only non-Ari Salvatore books I have, other than the one I bought. The rest of these are, well, oh wait, there's more Ari Salvatore book that I have here. Okay, so, this next one, The Pirate King. This is a series. They're Transitions series. I didn't read the back of these. So, Drizzt is involved in this. However, I know he's a recurring character. I don't in Ari Salvatore's books, because he's also in some of the other ones that I have that I bought already from Ari Salvatore. This is 2. I have number 1 around here, I think. Here's 3, The Ghost King. I hope I have 1. I hope I didn't miss King, book 1. This is another part of another series, The Cell Swords, book 3. I wonder if that's connected to this. This is The Cell Swords, which, yeah, I'm guessing it's part of this one. It's part of the Sermon on the Shard and all that. Okay, wait. Let me see if this has a, okay. Okay, yeah, that's the last one. Okay, good. I wish I hadn't gotten rid of Cantle. I used to have Cantle from the Quintet series, but then I got rid of it because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna read this. Of course, lo and behold, I decided to get back more into hardcore fantasy. Okay, so there's that. This is part of the Cell Sword, and I have the first one, and I think that the other one, Sea of, that other Sea of Shards or something like that, I think that's part of it too. Okay, this is the only other one that is not, oh wait, there's 2. I forgot. So this was one that she handed. I looked at it and was like, ooh, that, I think I kind of made a noise of, ooh, interesting. And she handed it to me. Or like, it looked like I was holding out my hand for her or something because she just handed it to me to look at. And I never get back to her because it sounded interesting. Shadowfall, it's book 1 of the Godslayer Chronicles. I don't know if book 2 is there or not. I might have missed getting book 2, but there's still plenty. Four millennia have passed since the 100 immortal gods came to Myrilia. Out of chaos they created the 9 lands, blessed with their graces and protected from the nightmarish hinterlands, where rogue gods stalk across the barbarous wilderness. And all this time nothing has disturbed the peace of the 9 lands. Until now, for the impossible, the unthinkable has happened. Murin, goddess of the Summering Isles, has been murdered. The only witness was Tylar de Noche, a crippled, disgraced former Shadow Knight who lives in agonizing shame of his past. He saw the dark entity that killed Murin, and as he held the dying goddess, her last breath bestowed a powerful blessing on him, a mark that healed his broken body, a mark that many see as proof that he killed a god, a mark that unleashed a powerful force of darkness within him. Chased across Myrilia by enemies both human and ethereal, aided only by the outcasts like himself, Tylar must uncover and face down a being powerful enough to kill an immortal, the true Godslayer. If he fails, all of Myrilia will fall into shadow. Let's see if it continues. He looks a little bit like Nickel Sparks or Dan Brown. Or he looks like the actor who plays Uncle Joey. Plays Joey on on Full House. But anyway, that's one that's not. So I have a few non-RA Solitaire books. The next is okay. So when I picked this up and I saw it, I did not realize it was not that it was an ARC copy. So I was a little disappointed by that, but it still looks like a complete story. It's just there's things about it that aren't in the original book. That aren't in the final copy of the book, I'm guessing. Which, actually, it says not for resale on here. It's funny that art copies are not for resale, but she didn't sell it to me. She gave it to me. So, she let me take it. So, I have been looking for the first book in that series, and so it's like, and it's a good cover, the cover's nice. So, it's not like, sometimes art copies don't have they don't have the cover, so they just have the title, and it's a nice color, but it's not, anything. So, I just saw it, and I was like, no, I'm gonna get it, because I have been wanting, and all I saw was, ooh, it's the first book. It's one of the ones I needed, so I could start reading the series. So, I did not realize it was not the original copy, so, but, I mean, as long as it's just, so it's one of those ones that's, they're standalones, but they can, they're an overarching plot. So, I'm gonna keep it, and then maybe one day I will buy the other one, the original, the final copy, the final edition at Books because I have seen it there, and hopefully it's still there, because a lot of times I decide, I'm not going to buy it today, and then it's not there next time I go, so hopefully it won't be there. But I will put it on my Amazon wish list if it's not there, if I end up missing out on the chance to get it. So, art copies, and unfortunately that means I can't really get rid of it. I mean, I could give it back to the bookstore, but then they'll be stuck with it again, unless someone wants to buy it, so I might just keep it. And I just won't make sure I don't do that again, because I don't there was actually Circle of Shadows, there was an art copy of that one, So I don't want to, I'm like, I don't, and that one I realized that it was an art copy. So, so I gotta avoid that because I don't want to be stuck with a bunch of art copies because it's like people on BookTube, you guys are always saying, what do I do with an art copy of a book? What can you do except for give it to another person? And they're stuck with it unless they give it, so it keeps being given to different people. And yeah, be like, don't worry about it because I give it to someone and they're gonna give it to someone, and as long as I don't get it back, why do I need to worry about it? But it's like you're stuck with it. But then that's all that it's gonna be happening is the book is gonna keep getting passed from different people, and which I guess you could say it does that anyway because like when you send it to a bookstore, if you send it to a charity bookstore, then someone else will buy it. And sometimes if people realize they don't like it, they might give it back to the bookstore, and then they'll have to resell it again. Because or granted, maybe that's just me, because I do that all the time. Like, although I noticed today when I was searching through all the sci-fi boxes that there were a lot of copies of Twilight. But I guess people are realizing, oh, this is not the best work ever. It's fun, but it's not worth, and I'm not trying to, because I still hold it in my heart, Twilight in my heart, and like, and I have a soft spot for it, and I get mad, and for the longest time, around the time the movies were coming out, I would get annoyed every time I would see that joke about, still a better love story than Twilight. That really bugged me, but I can understand why people didn't like it. Granted, I haven't reread it, so. But anyway, so as long as it's the whole book, it's just with some added material. I mean, nothing's wrong with that, so. Okay, the rest of these books these last few are RA software books. Apparently I only have, oh wait, no, I have some right there, I forgot. So next, oh, yes, perfect. Yes, great, fantastic. Okay, so I have the Sellswords, all the books, and the Sellsword, series. Yay, perfect. I think, let me look. Okay, so, well, what's the other one? Okay, the other one that I have, Sea of Shards or whatever, that's not on here. That's a Soulstar book. I mean, maybe, I'm thinking it's a standalone. I mean, although the other Salvatore Forgotten Realms books, they had it on there, so I don't know. But, I have the whole Soulsword thing. The only problem is, like, again, I do get that it's weird when you have books, a small mass market paperback, and then the rest of the series is hardback, or, like, big hardbacks like this. Or, like, trade paperbacks, and the other one's really small. So, last but not least, I have the first transition book, The Orc King. I think I might bring Shaman's Crossing with me when we go see my sister Jess. We're gonna go because her two boys, they have birthdays in the same month. So what they've been doing until they're old enough to where they can complain and be like, I don't want to share my birthday with my brother. Although maybe boys don't complain about that. Not that maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. I just have a feeling. I just think that sometimes they would complain that they wouldn't want to share everything, and sharing, which is funny because as babies and toddlers when they see their sibling have something they want it too. So it's like not that they're really sharing; they just want what the other one has, and they're not necessarily gonna share it. They still, I mean, it's not like they want to share it. It's just But anyway, I don't know what these are about. But. So maybe this is the introduction of Drizzt. Which will be good because I'll get my exposure to orcs because that one book series that I started to read, the series Orcs, I can't remember what Stan Nichols. I got that, and that I was gonna use that as my. But then I kind of lost interest in it. And like I said, I mean, I'm not. And when I read that one scene where the human gets raped by the queen orc, I mean, I didn't stop. That wasn't why I stopped reading. I really did genuinely lose interest. But oh my god, that scene! It's like wow. But anyway, So, but at the time when I was like, orcs, I want to get more into fantasy and explore other fantasy creatures, not just the pretty elves and the mischief-making fairies with the pretty wings and, I want to put those in my fantasy story. My fantasy epic that I will one day write, but I keep getting sidetracked and distracted because there's so many things to distract me, like TV and stuff. But there's that, and then, okay, I have 4 more books to show you guys, and one of them is another non-R.A. Salvatore book. I really should have shown you all those. Okay, so, the other Forgotten Realms R.A. Salvatore books that I have. This guy's so creepy looking. Let me see what this, the Forgotten Realms, it doesn't really have. This first book is called Legacy. Let me see, there's a... Let's see if there's a... Oh, okay, I guess the Legacy of the Drow. So I have... The Legacy is the first book, and that's this one. I don't know what the Drow is, but I will find out when I start reading these books. Starless Night is the one that comes after it. Okay. I'm trying to think who he looks like. This guy on the cover, he looks like someone. You know who would make a good... I mean, I haven't read this book, but the way he looks kind of reminds me of... what is his name? He does a lot of Tim Burton stuff. Played Saruman in Lord of the Rings. But anyway, that actor, I can't remember his name. But anyway, in a second. Hey. Okay, so I was looking at these and I just realized that there was a book I'm missing in between these other books. 2 of these books. So, Christopher Lee. That's, you'll say, if Christopher Lee had longer hair. I don't know. I don't know if that's who I'm thinking of, but anyway, this is the first book. And I think this is the second one. The Starless Night. Second one. I don't know much about what this is about, and I don't feel like doing that thing. And then, apparently, this is not book 3, this is book 4. And book 3 is Siege of Darkness, which I really hope that wasn't there at the bookstore and I missed grabbing it. Especially because these were free. So I would be so mad at myself if I missed grabbing it. These covers are so 80s, especially like this one. It looks so 80s with the coloring and stuff. I love his expression though. The whole, but it reminds me of, I just got the movie. The coloring kind of reminds me of, what is that called? I just got the movie, The Never-Ending Story. Or, like, some of those old cartoons, like the Princess and the Goblin. It reminds me of that kind of artwork. But look how he's, like, has that look of, that really, like, the raised eyebrow and just, it's very, so it's not the one, So apparently this is not this. So this is the second. Like I said, that's the second one, and this is the fourth one, not the third one, which is the one I need. And like I said, I really hope I didn't miss it. The third one is called Siege of Darkness. And then this one is called Passage to Dawn. The fourth one, so anyway, I will be very mad at myself if I missed out grabbing that third book. Something I will have to put on my list, Amazon wish list, and then the final book. Okay, so the original reason why what I was hoping to find was the second book in the Mule Time series, because I finally gave in, because I had bought the first book and decided to read it. Let's see if it's easy to grab that. It's not easy. Oh, wait, it's all the way over there. And this video is already pretty long, so I'm not gonna waste time getting up and getting that. Even though it won't take me that long. But I finally got the first book. So I want to get that one, and then I want to get Sabriel. I'm just hoping to find Sabriel there, because I got Lirio. But what happened, I ended up, looking for those books, I did find one book from the Mule Time series, and I figured, I may as well grab it. So, this is book 11, I believe. Yep, book 11, so it will be a while before I get to this one, and I will, it says it right there, which I appreciate. I think a lot of fantasy readers would appreciate that it says, well, I think any reader who reads series would appreciate that. It says it, because that's a criticism I've been hearing a lot of BookTube, that publishers for series do not put which book number it is, which, yes, I agree, it's annoying. All of our Salvatore books, I had to look in the book, which, thankfully, it does have this. A lot of his books always have this, like a list of all the books from the series and has them in order, so I appreciate that. So I've been apprehensive because this is a big series. It's 14 books, and people, a lot of people have criticized, down the line, in the middle of the series, it gets a little tedious. But I heard the writing style is pretty accessible. I was just watching a video this morning before I went to the bookstore by, Murphy Napier with guest starring Daniel Green, where they talked about their favorite series and how they would rate them from easy fantasy to get into fantasy, and intermediate, where it's a little bit more challenging, but it's still accessible, and then the really hardcore fantasy, which I personally would not classify, although it's really the writing style that holds me up from what stopped me from reading Lord of the Rings. It's the writing style itself. I couldn't get into it. It just seemed really boring and very super descriptive, which is funny because a lot of people like talking about this series and other series that I have enjoyed reading as being like that, overly descriptive. Even George R. R. Martin is described by Murphy Napier herself that he's a bit over descriptive and uses a lot of the same descriptions. And maybe... And I was just thinking, I'm not someone who really pays attention to writing style. I can't recognize when writing style is different most of the time. Sometimes I can. But, when it's really obvious. At least what's obvious to me. When it's really obvious to me, then yeah. Obvious to anybody. Even people who don't read, as much. But it's, but I still don't know if I could really get into Lord of the Rings, and it's too late now. I already gave it away to Terry. But I do have the audio CD on my Amazon wishlist, so hopefully one day I will get it. Problem is, it's not cheap. It's even more expensive. It's either the same price or more expensive than a hardback. And my problem is I don't drive, because I don't drive, so I don't listen to audio CDs that much. But, I couldn't listen to it when I'm in bed, and maybe lull me to sleep. Probably I'd have to, still get up and stop it. So anyway, so that's my book haul and what I got today. And I'm gonna upload this tonight. Of course, maybe by the time people start watching it, me saying I got it today won't matter. So I say, so to clarify, I mean I got it Tuesday afternoon. So if you watch this. But anyway, I like looking at them. I really want to read them, but I'm apprehensive. I'm worried that when I start reading them, I'm going to regret buying them. But I'm determined to read more adult fantasy. So, and like it said, but with Lord of the Rings, I'm just gonna hopefully one day get the audio because I already gave away. I mean, of course, she would willingly give it back. I'm sure, but and who knows? I could always buy another copy anyway. I could always get a bind up of Lord of the Rings. Like I know there's that really nice bind up hardback. It's wait, no, it's not hardback. It's black with the letters Lord of the Rings in gold. And I think Christina, my friend from my youth, from up until college, I think she had that. I think. But anyway, so hopefully I will like these. I won't regret it. And like I said, when I talk about these books or when I look at them, if they're like particularly more so in fantasy, I excited that I want to read them right this second. But I can't do that because I have I'm still working on Kings of the Wild. I'm almost done with it. What I might do is just stop watching. Like say hi to my parents. They went out to eat with friends. So I might say hi to them first and then come up here and read Kings of the Wild to get like a few more chapters read. 2 or 4, and then probably read in bed. And then I need to start reading Sword of Destiny, which that's a short story collection, so it shouldn't take me as long. But I need to finish that one first before I jump into anything new. And like I said, I do have a TBR, so for this month. So if you guys bought any new books lately, I'd love to know what they are. Feel free to share in the comments below. And as always, I hope you are enjoying your reading, and I will talk to y'all later. Alright, bye!